Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, I'm here to talk about UFC 299's Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della. But before getting started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Gilbert Burns, Jack Della set for UFC 299. An interesting fight to say the least. I believe Della in the UFC is undefeated thus far. First three fights coming by the way of knockout, 2 decision wins, and the guy is doing pretty well for himself thus far in the UFC. There's a 10-year age difference between the two, Jack Della being the younger of the two, 27, Gilbert Burns, a veteran, 37. Last time I saw Burns, and to be honest with you, Gilbert Burns is a sturdy, solid fighter, always gives his best, in my personal opinion. The only time that I remember in recent history that Gilbert Burns lost in a clear-cut way was, I believe the last time was against Kamaru Usman, the champion of the welterweight division at the time. And really, he's only had a handful of losses since then. A couple of losses, 2-3. I know Khamzat Chimaev and Bilal Muhammad being 2 of those losses. Decision to Bilal, and I believe it was a decision to Khamzat Chimaev as well. The fight with Khamzat Chimaev was very interesting. Gilbert Burns gave Khamzat Chimaev a hard time. But I'm here to really talk about Gilbert Burns. I believe this is a make or break fight for Gilbert Burns. I mean, where does Gilbert go from here if he was to lose to a Jack Della? Obviously, the latter, is somebody who's on an upward trajectory in the UFC thus far. Jack Della has been undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's had losses in his MMA career. I don't think any of those losses came in the octagon, in the UFC in particular. The guy is fairly young, 27 years old, is a young age for MMA fighters. In my opinion, you see these guys really, their talent crystallize more in their 30s. They mature and they become the best versions of themselves, I believe, in their 30s, mid-30s. I know that's not the case for everyone, but what I'm trying to say here is that Jack Della's on an uprise, and momentum is with him, as well as age and everything else that comes along with that. Gilbert Burns, if he was to beat Jack Della, where does that take him? It's very interesting for Gilbert because, fighting at that 170 division, obviously shaky past few years for Gilbert, but this can be easily turned around with a 2-3 win streak. If he was to beat Jack Della, who would Gilbert face next? I would like to see Gilbert versus Kobe Covington, perhaps. That would be an interesting fight. Both fighters are somewhat in the same form as of late, so I think that fight would make sense. And I'm not, aside from that, I'm really not sure where Gilbert Burns go from here. Jack Della is a huge task. I mean, the guy's displayed, many times that he has the knockout ability, and he's also able to win fights by decisions. So in the UFC thus far, it's been flawless for Jack. If I'm not mistaken, there's been no losses. It's been a short time for Jack Della in the UFC. I believe it's 2 or 3 years he's been fighting Octagon UFC, that is. So I'm very interested to learn more about Jack Della and to know exactly where Gilbert Burns stands at this very moment. Where does Gilbert go from here after the Jack Della fight? I believe this fight is going to kind of clarify the future for especially Gilbert Burns, because 37 years old is not getting any younger, and I believe if he does not start a win streak soon, then there is no hopes for a title shot in the upcoming few years. I mean, time is ticking. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.